Hey everyone, my name is CB Harris and this is the Armed with Information channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about security in our school systems. Now, I know that we've had major incidents happen in the past with school shootings, with kidnappings. Lots of stuff happens at school. It's a big concentration of one of our most valuable things, and that's our children. I know that the press really likes to build them up, make a big deal out of them. And it is a big deal. Anytime any child especially is killed, injured, taken, it's a big deal. So how do we keep our kids safe? What do we do? I think there's some things that we are doing well, but I think that there's some things we can improve for sure. So whenever I talk about security, I talk about the 4 Ds of defense. And those are deterrence, detection, and delay, which they kind of go hand in hand, and then a decisive action. You have to do something about it. So deterrence is exactly what it sounds like. You're trying to deter a threat, okay? So, having alarm systems in your house, that's a deterrence. For our school systems, I really think that deterrence is going to be a presence. So whether that's a police presence or armed guards or security guards, even teachers, an adult present, all of that is your deterrence. You can talk about having a, gun-free zone signs, but that is not a deterrence. That doesn't keep people away. Criminals, by their very nature, do not follow what a little sign tells them to do. So that is not a deterrence. Now, if that sign were to say armed personnel on the premises, that would probably be a deterrence, because the fear of being shot while trying to do something might deter some people from trying that. Now, it's not going to stop everybody. The problem with deterrence is you can't really tell if it's working. So just because we have all these measures in place and nothing happens doesn't mean that our security is spot on and perfect. It might need some work. It probably needs some work. But deterrence is still an important factor. So the next thing we're talking about is our delay and detection, and they really go hand in hand. You need to delay that threat, and you need to detect that threat while it's being delayed. If you don't detect it, it doesn't matter how long the delay takes place. It could be hours. If you can't detect that threat, it really doesn't matter. Take it for instance, if let's say you have bars on your windows, but you have lots of bushes around that area, plenty of time for a criminal, a burglar, to bypass or cut through or remove those bars and still get in your house. Those bars really didn't do much of a delay because it didn't matter in the long run. So that is a very important thing to remember, is you need to be able to detect the threat while you're delaying it. For our schools, I think one of the biggest delays that we have is they're usually surrounded by a lot of property. So you'll have the school, you have playground, fields, parking lot, and that's kind of a delay, so you can hopefully see the threat coming. They also like to lock all the doors or have all the doors so that you can't get in from the outside except for the main entrance, and that's a good delay system, because most of the time that main entrance, that's near the office, the children aren't usually there on a typical basis. The classrooms aren't there. So that is a decent delay system. Now, having large fences around the area might help as well. We don't want our kids to feel like they're in prison either. So, we have to balance that as well. Now, the area where I believe that we are really failing, and that is decisive action. Calling the police, while that is an action, it is not really all that proactive. You're not really doing anything to stop the threat right now. All you're doing is calling somebody else and hoping they can stop the threat. That's fine if you have plenty of time in that detection phase. You detected them and you have 10 minutes before they're going to be able to get in. That's fine. But that's not always the case. There are ways around that delay. If a person can bust in through the back door, yeah, the alarm's going off, and they had to break into that door, sure, but if they now have access to your children immediately and there's no way to stop them, then it's really not all that effective. So, what do I think that decisive action should be? I think one of two things. Either we need to start having more armed police or armed security in our schools. Now, I don't necessarily think it should be a big overt thing. If they're a police officer, sure, in uniform every once in a while, stopping in the school. I think we need to have something on premises all the time. There are some school districts that do that. They have a police presence in the school all the time while there are children there. Not every school can do that. So how do we do it? How do we fix that situation? I honestly think that it's armed staff. There are people who don't like that idea. I think that training is obviously, it would be required. It needs to be done. But having somebody armed on the premises, I believe, is the only truly effective deterrence, as well as a delay, as well as a decisive action. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think about armed personnel in our schools? I understand the fear, our children being in that close proximity to firearms. That's why these personnel need to be trained. They need to be certified to do this type of thing. I think it's a great idea. I know there are some schools that are starting to do this. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments down in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you did, be sure to like and share it. It is always appreciated when you guys do that. And if you're not a subscriber and you want to see more videos like this one, find that subscribe button, give it a big old click, and then, well, YouTube is going to email you every time there's a video goes up. So be sure to do that, and you'll be notified right away whenever there's a video going live. So anyway, remember that your mind, that is your most important tool, and it is always important to be armed with information. Until next time, take care and be safe. Charlie Bravo, out.